Hey guys, what's going on? It's Steph here. Hope you've been well. I know I have. In this week's episode, I did a little bit of metal detecting in the woods. Found some awesome relics, an exquisite coin, and I had a great time. And I really like doing these kinds of videos because I just find it so fascinating when you can pull relics and coins in the middle of absolutely nowhere, which is precisely what I did. So let's go hop in and enjoy that, but before we do, as a reminder, I'm now a proud affiliate of KELLYCO metal detectors, so if you need anything metal detecting related, gold prospecting, you name it, shoot me an email at stefdigs@gmail.com and I'll most certainly be able to help you out and probably give you a discount as well. Let's hop in. Okay, back out at a spot today that I've been to multiple times. That's the opening, or the original stairway down to the cellar. And it's a fairly large cellar hole. Been here a million times. But I wanted to try out my new settings on the Simplex, which is, my preference is Park 1 now with full sensitivity with that new update. And it's paying off because I got a 40s to 60s signal and I can already see it. We have a button. Awesome. It's got the full shank and everything, and it looks like it has a really strong back mark. This is probably 1820s to 1840s, somewhere around there. And per usual, with those types of buttons, there's nothing on the front. That's awesome. Well, as I was brushing this off and preparing it to put it away in my pouch, I was trying to get some dirt out of the shank. But it's not dirt. That's actually cloth from the garment that it was on when this was lost over 200 years ago. That is really cool. I've only got a few buttons like that, so I'm not really going to clean this. I'm going to leave it intact. That is too cool. Well, this is a first. So the last button I dug was right there, and I'm not too far away. Got a 70s-ish signal underneath that big rock, so I moved that. And the first thing I saw in the hole was this piece of glass. Okay, I also found some pottery too, but I already put that in my pocket. It's so abundant at this site. And I thought this was part of maybe a bottle. But I don't think so anymore. Here's why. I also found this, which is what was throwing the signal. Now this, some of you might recognize, I think most of you probably won't. You've seen me film lantern pieces many times before, and this is one I have not dug before. There are actually two holes right here, and there would have been two wicks coming up, and as I believe they used like whale blubber or something as the fuel for these types of lamps. And these are quite a bit older than the typical ones I show that have, the knob to advance the wick and all that. This is possibly colonial, maybe early 1800s. So that's pretty cool. It's a first, and finding part of the glass in the hole with it was just a bonus. All right. Okay, first and foremost, you're going to have to ignore the siren sounds in the background. I'm a couple miles from civilization, but those carry. It's been going on for about 10 minutes. I don't know what's going on, but anyway. I just wanted to film this because I've learned the hard way that I should film everything just in case it happens to be awesome, even if I think it might be junk. So this is brass, and it rang up somewhere in the 60s. It was a little bouncy, probably because of the shape. But you can see this is a very purposeful shape at the end here. Definitely molded that way on purpose. And this, I think it's broken. I'm not sure. Your guess is as good as mine. I'll try to get an identification off of it. But right now, I have absolutely no clue. So, any help is appreciated. I am so glad that I finally learned my lesson and started filming everything, even if it seemed like it was probably junk. Because this is not junk. When I posted photos on my Facebook page, I got a lot of responses saying, "Hey Steph, that's a Civil War sword hanger." Not exactly something I expected to find at that site, especially because I think abandonment was probably around 1840 or 1850 at the latest. With that said though, there is a dump that's right across the cart path from that cellar hole, and I found stuff in there that dates from the 1850s all the way up to the early 1900s. So it's certainly conceivable that a soldier came home and was just curious about the abandoned home across the way, because the home probably would have still been standing, but dilapidated and falling down. We've always had curiosity, right? He was probably just a curious guy, like I'm a curious girl who metal detects. Anyway, though, I do want to show you an example on the screen right now of where this piece would have gone on a belt. As you can see, my piece on the bottom right really matches the one right above it, and you can see on the Confederate soldier's uniform where exactly that piece would have gone. Now, those were reenactors' uniforms that I posted, but I just couldn't find really a better image, so I just wanted to show you where that piece would have gone to give you a little bit of context. All right, that's a pretty interesting piece. Back to the show. All right, I got a nice little squeaker here. I'm right near the well. Can't really see it, but it's right off the side of the road. There's a well right there. And over here, it was reading 8 inches down, but it was more like 6. I pulled it out. And I haven't really looked at it yet. I don't know what it is except that it's brass, I think. Oh, there's something fancy on there. That means I'm going to wipe that off and come right back. Okay. All right, hopefully you can see that a little better. It's really tough in here today. It's very dark in terms of the trees because now everything's all very overgrown. But it does have some kind of pattern on here, and it's like brass that's been folded over on itself. And I tried to unroll it a little bit, but I heard a small crack, so I'm going to stop. I have no idea what this is. But, hey, not a bad first target. All right, going to keep going. So, I got a super loud, like 18 to 20 signal. It was reading 6 inches down, which was about correct. I popped it out of there, and I think we have a button. Yep. Ooh, it looks like there's something on there. I hope. Usually, most of the buttons I find are really plain on the front. And the back, what is going on there? I don't even know what's going on with this. You know what? I'll brush that off and come right back. This could be something different. Well, it's taken me 3 years in the hobby and well over 50 YouTube videos where you guys have seen me dig countless Tomback buttons that are plain to finally get one with a pattern. So it's really caked on in dirt. When I clean this up and put it on the screen, you'll see how beautiful it is, because I can tell you there's definitely a pattern along the edge here. It's very tough to find Tomback buttons that have a pattern like that. So I'm stoked. That was actually a bucket lister for me. But I don't know what's going on with the back here. It almost looks like it's full of lead. It's super weird. I don't know. And to be honest, the signal was so loud and my pinpointer was going off everywhere. I almost wonder if I have a shirt down there. I'll let you know. I'll come back if there's anything else in the hole, because that really shouldn't have lead on the back, and it does feel like it's full of lead. So really weird, but very, very happy to finally have an etched Tomback. It's awesome. Alright, so I got a really loud, like 60s or 70s signal. It was reading 4 inches down, and I picked it up briefly, but I still don't know what it is. It's some kind of piece of brass, shaped kind of like a boomerang. I have no idea. This is probably going to end up being something really cool because I have no idea. That's usually how it works, especially at this site. I'm going to take a closer peek at this, and if I can ID it right now, I'll come right back, but if I don't, I could probably use your help. Okay, well, I got a slamming signal on the Simplex. It was about a 75 to 82 kind of bouncy. And it was reading only 4 inches down, so I was expecting junk, but it's not quite junk. It's not my favorite thing in the world to find, but if you've watched my channel long enough, you should know what this is. This is an umbrella parasol slide. And what's funny is I actually put out a video yesterday, filmed at this same location, or pretty close to it anyway, that also had a parasol slide. So I feel kind of silly showing this, but just in case you don't know what it is, this would have expanded the umbrella when it slid up the shaft of the umbrella. So always to be expected at 1800s sites. And there was quite a lot of Victorian activity in this area, even though it's pretty nondescript. I definitely have the finds to back that up. So, all right, I'll let you know if I find something else. All right, so I'm pretty far behind a site right now. There's a site 100 to 200 feet up that way, so I've just kind of been orbiting around. And I found a spot that wasn't completely covered in branches and vines. Got a 20s to 40s signal, which can be a shotgun shell or a button. And it's something entirely different. I looked at it already. I'm very sad it's broken. Let me get some light here. But we have part of a shoe buckle frame. That's an old one too. That's probably about mid 1700s, somewhere in there. Still want to get a better shot of this. There we go. Looks like it had some kind of design on there. So it's a great sign. You can see where it gets thicker here. And there's kind of just a weird shape there. That was a hole originally where the pin would have gone through to hold the tongue in shape. That's pretty cool. All right. I'll let you know what's next. This one sounds so good. I wanted to let you listen to it and show you too. That could be a copper or an ox knob or something else awesome. Let's just at least hope for something awesome. Well, everyone, I'm really glad I showed you that banging 75 to 80 something signal I was getting, because we have ourselves a coin. Didn't look at it yet. I just saw the edge. Okay, how about we just admit I'm a magnet for these now? Oh my God. That's my 5th King George I. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. We can probably even get a date like right here, right now. Is that another 24? It's a 20 something. I've got like, I think 2 23s, 1 dateless, 1 24, and now this. But look at that stunner. Oh, doesn't get any nicer than that. You know what? And I almost had this thought of, oh, I wonder if it's another KG1, because I'm good at finding those. And it's not a normal copper to find. I mean, for those of you who metal detect, you'll have an appreciation for this, because they're really not that common since they're so darn old. Wow. That's a beauty. That is a day maker. I'm going to spend my time in here for a little while. I'm still about 100 feet from that site, but right next to the shoe buckle frame, I dug a shotgun shell. And that doesn't say a whole lot, except for the fact that it looked like, you know, it was about 100-year-old shotgun shell, which means no one's really beeped in this area. And this guy was maybe 4 inches down, if that. Whew. I don't even need to brush this off and show you how gorgeous it is, because it's just right there. Awesome. And that is number 10 for 2020. That's a beautiful number 10. Beautiful number 10th copper. I love it. Well, as much as I wanted to stay in that area for a little bit longer, per usual lately, I got rained out again, and I was stuck in a downpour and just had to hike out of the woods. So I'll save that area for another day. Definitely deserves a recap. With that said, we're going to hop into the wrap-up, but first, if you haven't already done so, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you liked this video. It's free. Why not? All right, on to the wrap-up. Okay, let's take a quick look at what we found. So, we've got those whale oil lamp pieces. This one I had tried to clean with a brass brush and quickly realized it's actually made out of pewter. You only really want to use brass brushes on brass, so whoops. But it held up pretty well. Testament to how well it was made. And there's the nice piece of thick glass that goes with it. This is that scarf pin, probably early 1900s or so. Would have had a bend in it to begin with, but there's a more severe bend. I don't know how that happened. Your guess is as good as mine, because obviously relics come out of the ground this way sometimes. This pretty cool piece that I thought might be nothing, but also thought might be something. That's our Civil War era sword hanger. So that is pretty cool. I'm glad that I learned my lesson and started filming stuff that just maybe sort of could be something, and then did research afterwards. So nice piece, not much to look at, but it's a very cool relic. This has been suggested as a napkin holder. I'm not really sure. I unfolded it just so I could see the pattern better. Took some lemon juice to it to bring out the silver plating. But I don't know what these little tabs are on the inside. If that has anything to do with a napkin holder, great. But if it doesn't, and someone knows what that actually is, let me know, because I'm not convinced on napkin holder. I think that was just a convenient answer a lot of people gave me, understandably so. This is our umbrella parasol. Not a terribly exciting find because I do pull these all the time, but hey, it is what it is, and it's a relic and they sound fantastic. Gotta dig them. Our mid-1700s shoe buckle fragment. Really wish that had been complete, but you know, you get what you get. So still happy to have it, and I still do need to make a display of my shoe buckle fragments. This is that nice piece, this nice button rather, with the thread still through it, and I did take a brass brush to the back because I really wanted to see the back mark, and it paid off in dividends. It looks beautiful, and it didn't hurt the wool that's through the shank there. So really nice little button. Of course, my bucket lister button here. Took me 3 years to find an etched tomback button, but I found one. And I think the reason that it's lead filled on the back is so that the tomback wasn't as susceptible to breaking. That's what would make sense to me. I did find one example online, only one, that did have a lead back like this with the exact same pattern on the front. So that is pretty cool. And let's see. All right, last but not least, before you guys yell at me and give me a whole bunch of thumbs downs, let me explain this. I do what I normally do with King George coins, and I put this in room temperature peroxide to soak for just a little bit. I mean, I check on it every few minutes, but the thing with hydrogen peroxide is it will reveal any pitting that's left underneath the dirt, which it really did with this one. I wasn't expecting it to look like a zombie King George, but here we are. So to try to make it look a little better, just as an experiment, because I do have another 1723 King George the First halfpenny that's in gorgeous shape, is I decided to put this through electrolysis. And because it's a little cloudy out, the camera's not really doing it justice, but it actually is pretty gorgeous. Back, not so much. But you have to figure this is exactly how it would have looked, or, you know, maybe not pitted, but it would have looked shiny like this 300 years ago. So it's kind of cool to have an example in the collection like that. And I'm not really sorry I did it. It was an ugly coin before. So, all right. Definitely some pretty good finds. So I really hope you enjoyed this week's video, and we will see you next week.